tablets all day at home, or they're watching TV or playing video games. They're just not stimulated. They'd rather watch TV or play a game than go out and socialize with their friends or play with their toys. I was a big fan of Lego growing up. Loved, not only building the models that, the instruction books came with, but then tearing everything apart and using my imagination to build things. And I think anymore you don't see, for the most part, I don't think you see kids doing that. They're not using their imaginations. They're so overly stimulated and hyper stimulated with this technology. As great as it is, because it's very helpful. You wouldn't have half the things we do in modern technology if we didn't have, the discoveries in the tablets and the computers and the things, but I think it could be harmful too. So I see that, my son, like I said, iPad, and I'm like, why don't you go outside and play, get some fresh air, run around, get dirty, bust a lip or something like that, do what kids do. But yeah. So.
Well, you said that with technology, it's kind of disconnected people from each other. Do you think that should put more pressure on schools, like our school system just in general, to while technology can be great for education, do you think they should focus more on developing kids socially, since the technology is available to educate themselves even if they're not at school?
That's a good thought. I think that the question would be is how do you teach social interaction?
That's true.
Not to say that can't be done. You get people together and you get them to socialize. I just think that I think that it has to start at home, because teachers can do everything that they can, but, and this goes back to other subjects as well, if it's not coming from home, it's not going to be enforced. It's not going to be a priority. Those kids aren't going to do it, just like they're not, if it's not a priority at home for them to be active in their education and studying and getting to know the subjects and really getting in there and respecting an education, then they're not going to do their homework, they're not going to do well on tests, and they're not going to succeed in life. So if you've got a parent that just hands their kid technology and doesn't care whether they're actually interacting with their kids, and they ignore their kids, then the social norm for them will be to text their friends and to Snapchat them or Instagram, send them pictures, or Facebook, instead of calling them, having a real conversation, or going over to their house and hang out. And, I don't think it's necessarily as bad right now as maybe I've made it out to be, because I do know that high schoolers today still do get together and do bonfires and go out and socialize and hang out and all that. But I do think that over time, if we let it run rampant, it's going to be a problem. I guess schools would need the buy-in from their teachers, and then, or not teachers, from the parents, and then figure out how to teach that, because it's a big thing.
So the future's kind of uncertain with everything. Would you say you feel financially stable at this moment with where you're at?
I do right now. The reason why I say that is because I'm ahead of the game in terms of my wife and I already have our college educations paid off. We do have, an emergency fund if something drastic were to happen. If one of us were to lose our job, we do have enough money saved up that, okay, we can take care of bills for 6 months to a year, whatever it need to be, without, having to really, feel the pain of doing a lot of cuts. You'd have to cut, but we do have retirement programs started. We are stocking money away. So right now I do feel a little bit ahead of the game, and I think that's a big thing that a lot of, not only parents, but kids aren't, they're not getting that today, and they're not teaching that in schools. At least a lot of schools are not. And it's like how to manage your money and all that. I think a lot of that is parents these days are willing to just give their kids anything. so their kids don't respect what they've been given, and they don't really know the financial implications of everything they get. They just see a new shiny toy or a brand new car for mommy or this or that. They don't realize that it came with a price tag, and somebody worked hard for it.
So last question. Again, with the uncertainty surrounding everything, what advice would you give to college students who are in college right now, about the future, about getting a job? You've had experience being laid off and not enjoying your job. Would you just tell them to quit on trying to find a job and just take whatever they can get, or would you tell them to just keep going through no matter how many interviews you have to do?
I would say do what you're passionate about. And if you're not passionate about something that you get in, like, work is work. It's not fun. It's not vacation. It's not playtime for a reason. So it's not always going to be enjoyable. But if you find something you're passionate about that you really enjoy doing, it's going to make it that much easier to go into it. I don't necessarily know that I'd say just give up and settle on something. It's kind of hard to say, considering in some ways people think I settled in the restaurant industry, even though I've taken a lot of what I learned in business management, and I worked my way up, and that only strengthens me and builds my character, but builds my resume as well. But I also do feel like there's nothing wrong with if you come out of school and can't find what you're really looking for. There's nothing wrong with taking a job in something that you think is going to be temporary, and then if you grow to love that, then that's a different story. But I'd say try to find what you can, and if you have to take a job in the meantime, and devote your attention to that, that's not awful either. But but you've got to be passionate about. You've got to find something you're passionate about. You've got to be passionate about going to school. College is so expensive these days that it would be horrible to go to school for something just because it was expected of you, and it wasn't something you wanted to do, but you did okay, and then you come out and you're miserable, with a ton of debt that sometimes seems like you can't manage. So I don't know.
All right. Well, that's everything. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.